Welcome to another episode of the InfoHazard Podcast Show. I am Dave, and that is Dan.
Third host Phil is currently missing in action, but he'll be back next week for the Phil fans.
I know. Yeah, stick with us. I know it's no Phil, but, the B squad can still move the football. So, let's talk about the news, Dan. Were you paying attention to the news while you were in Italy?
I paid some attention to the news, yeah. Not like as close as I pay when I'm not on vacation, but...
So, do I need to fill you in? Donald Trump is dictator now, and this show, by his divine edict, this show exists to sing his praises.
Oh.
Trump be There were elections, and the Democrats kind of whooped butt. Kapow, kapow. This was a major news item when you were gone, was that the shutdown is still going, and the Republicans they're trying to hide their glee that they see an opportunity to deny 40 million Americans SNAP benefits.
Yeah, speaking of which, a little bit before we started filming, I don't know if you saw this, but the Supreme Court said that he can not pay the SNAP money after all, even though that other judge had ruled that he has to pay. Supreme Court says they need more time to consider. He doesn't have to pay until everyone's, done considering.
A temporary stay, an emergency temporary stay. Yeah, they always seem to give him expedited emergency hearings, which is, I guess it's good to be president. Good, well, phew.
Some hungry children might have gotten fed. Imagine how terrible that would have been, dude, if we just erroneously fed some children that needed food.
Did you see those AI videos that... Basically, they had a bunch of AI-generated fake black women threatening to rob grocery stores if they didn't get their SNAP benefits?
I did not.
And Fox very credulously published them, and their retraction made no... I mean, it wasn't even a retraction. Okay, here's my parody. It's of, the original title was, Welfare Queens threaten violence if they don't get their benefits.
Well, this is the network that argued in court that nobody would believe that they were saying the truth.
No one would believe that they were news. Fox News. Yeah, and they won on that argument, right?
They did.
So,
and yet they shape so much of our policy because our president watches them and believes everything that he sees. There's also good news. I saw that Mamdani won in New York City for mayor.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, good news that, Andrew Cuomo didn't win. Congratulations to him. And, to the majority of voters in New York City for not voting for Andrew Cuomo. It's a little bit sad that Andrew Cuomo was competitive at all, but thus is the level of fear for Democratic Socialists.
Plus, he's a Muslim, dude. He's got a brown person name.
He does. Well, and he said things critical of Israel, so therefore, he can be smeared as an anti-Semite. In fact, I think the Anti-Defamation League had a call-in line that they set up, just for things that he said. There's some, large Jewish population in New York City. There's a lot of variance on the political spectrum among that population.
But hey, Andrew Cuomo didn't win, after losing his last job for being a sex pest. He didn't, win an election.
I mean,
he lost 2 elections in a row, even.
What? Yeah, I mean, this just enforces to me the idea that we should just pick random people. If you just pick 3 random New Yorkers... Anyway, I like Mamdani. I think smart, charismatic guy, and I think his heart's somewhat in the right, probably in the right place, though you can never really trust the politician. I feel like if you just pick 3 random New Yorkers, then there would have been no risk of having someone like Andrew Cuomo.
Some risk. I'm sure there are some sex pests in New York City.
Yeah,
it's a very large city.
They wouldn't win.
Yeah, it's true, and he didn't win, dude. It's okay. It wasn't the presidential election. The sex pest lost.
That's right. I just found out that Lina Khan, the former FTC chair, is one of the co-chairs of Mamdani's transition team.
Thanks to her previous chair experience.
Exactly. I think he's going to lean on her for her experience. She's rock solid. I'm a fan of Lina Khan. I mean, yeah, just in case you thought Mamdani was trying to calm down the billionaires. Yeah, Lina Khan is I don't know, who do billionaires like less, Bernie Sanders or Lina Khan?
I'd have to meet some billionaires in order to ask them. You're asking the wrong person here. I'm pretty far from a billionaire.
I think they dislike Lina Khan more because they know that Bernie is never going to be president, and Lina Khan has actually wielded power to some effect against them. Anyway, she's young and energetic, and yeah, I think they are not happy about it, most likely. So anyway, she like had this famous paper she wrote in law school, basically trying to redefine the standard by which companies should be considered monopolies, basically moving it from just about consumer prices to also include some idea of how much the companies are dominating in their space, because that power consolidation can lead to higher prices down the road and can lead to, anti-competitive practices. It was like the Amazon paradox or something. And yeah, as FTC chair, she enforced regulatory action against lots of big tech companies. So
good for her.
Yeah, shocking that they supported Trump this time. Anyway, best of luck to Mamdani. I think, raising like a 2% tax on people who earn over $1 million, like it's...
They'll be in the poorhouse, dude.
Right. As Ted Cruz says, he's not a socialist. He's a communist Marxist. He wants to seize the means of production. Anyway.
Do they have any means of production left in New York City, dude? I don't think they actually make anything there anymore, right?
Yeah, I think he's... they make pizza, bagels.
All right, he's going to be seizing the bread ovens, dude.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, one of his signature policies is to set up grocery stores, like city-run grocery stores. Yes, it's. I don't know.
God,
it's so
dude.
funny. So funny.
It's practically Soviet Russia.
It's so funny that like Donald Trump is like nationalizing large like chunks of large companies. Anyway, whatever. Republicans have no actual like economic principles other than like whatever the Rand Pauls. So anytime they make these arguments, you just know it's disingenuous. But it's just it's disingenuous and targeting really, really stupid people who just don't understand anything other than communist bad. So, screw you, Ted.
But so that's also not, like, moving to a somewhat related topic, that wasn't our only piece of good news this week. Dick Cheney died.
That's not good news. Come on.
No? I don't know, dude. He's a pretty bad guy. Like, millions of people probably died because of him.
Millions of people died because of him?
At least 1 million people died in that second Iraq war that he's largely responsible for.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Cheney either, but I feel like his damaging days were behind him anyway. I feel like it's not exactly like punishment to like die peacefully of old age. It's like,
that's true.
Got what he had coming.
All right, so I guess the bad news is he managed to escape punishment by dying.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is an interesting... I was struggling with this some when Russia invaded Ukraine, basically comparing the crime of that invasion to the crime of our invasion of Iraq. And I think I came down that the Russian invasion was worse, and by now it's much worse. But, it's sort of the same kind of thing. So you probably know more about this. I mean, this intelligence was intentionally falsified, right? I mean, this wasn't like faulty intelligence. This was falsified intelligence.
If you're talking about like the weapons of mass destruction, yeah, it is absolutely. I mean, Saddam was definitely a huge piece of shit, and his government was really horrible. It's just, I'm not sure that, us invading them has improved the situation.
Yeah, it's a little hard to blame Dick Cheney or even blame America for the sectarian violence that followed and ISIS and all that, and is it really our position that Saddam Hussein, at least he's stable, right? Is that really our position? I don't know. It's like
the United States national security, that's their position. It's not my personal position.
It's their position that what?
That he was, he kept things stable by brutally repressing the ethnic groups that would be otherwise fighting. And communists, which is why they sold him weapons of mass destruction.
Right. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not sure how many people died of what when in Iraq and the American invasion and the subsequent shit show, but I feel like, well, yeah, I mean, everything that happened back then is causally upstream of what has happened since. I don't think that like the single main impetus was... I mean, sure, the American invasion broke the dam, but that dam could have broke any time, anyway. And the pent-up water behind the dam is probably equally or more responsible for the flooding. That metaphor made it all the way through.
I guess. That said, we did send a bomb into the dam and explode that shit, so... And then we lied about why we were doing it.
I mean, by we.
The United States, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That was before we could vote, though, so I don't think we get any blame for that.
I mean, definitely, I'm sure if we went to Iraq, people would probably blame you for that.
They should fucking get over it.
All right, but here's some actual good, like, something that I think you will actually agree is good news here.
It's not non-death good news.
Non-death good news. California passed Proposition 50 to redistrict and gerrymander in response to Texas gerrymandering.
Feels good. Felt good to vote yes. That was the simplest ballot I've ever seen. How close was it?
I don't think it was that close. I think it was like 60-40 roughly, but
60-40. Pretty good. It's a hold your nose kind of a vote, but it's actually, yeah, what we've seen from the Democrats over the last couple months has been
better. They're trying a little harder.
Yeah, it's been encouraging. Like with the shutdown, with Prop 50, what you're seeing is when they go low, we go low also. When they go low, we go to the mat. So, yeah, like the whole week going high when they go low thing is great when you have an overwhelming advantage in strength.
Or if voters actually see that and reward you for it instead of just not caring.
Yep, that's right. So, you know, I hope we can get rid of the party system entirely. Until then, I'll take the Democrats, I think. Thank you. So, yeah, good job.
All right. Guess what, dude? Choo-choo! The good news train is going to keep rolling, dude. It's not over. It's a week of good news. It keeps going, dude. All right, Sean Dunn. You probably don't know his name, but he's the guy who threw sandwich at ICE in Washington, D.C., and he was cleared of his misdemeanor charge that they got him with after they failed to get a grand jury to indict him on a felony assault charge for throwing a sandwich.
Right. I mean, so it still went like to a jury, right? Like a jury acquitted him. Man, couldn't I be on one of these juries? Like, I actually have jury duty coming up.
So maybe you will be, dude. You know, maybe there's a less publicized case where you live of someone who threw a sandwich at an ICE agent.
One can only dream. But yeah, I mean, hopefully this doesn't spark a nationwide wave of sandwich crimes against law enforcement. I think this is the right call, but you don't want to... I don't think you should have thrown the sandwich at the guy. It's a waste of a sandwich.
I don't know, dude. It sparked a national conversation. That sandwich is talked about more than like any other sandwich in recent memory.
Have you ever bought a sandwich and, I don't know, just the feeling of not getting to eat your sandwich? That'd be worse than having your face pressed against the car and cuffed. Be like, okay, I'll come peacefully. Can I please have a bite of my sandwich? But I mean, the paper didn't even tear, right? I mean, like, no mustard got on the officer.
No. He testified that, you know, he got a mustard stain left on his uniform or whatever during the trial.
Does mustard stain?
I've never been hit with a sandwich because I'm not a fascist thug. So
this is like camo Kevlar, like real. Anyway, wow. Real.
See, that's what makes it noble. You know, if he shot them, then there's moral ambiguity, right? But he threw a sandwich that's like unambiguously kind of awesome. I wouldn't
say there's an ambiguity if he shot them. I would say that that's murder. But like that's just not.
Yeah, exactly. See, you know, but clearly he would have thought it was a good idea. If he.
Okay.
But the sandwich, you know, it's just like, you know, it makes you laugh.
The sandwich nobody thought was a good idea. Including him, like, immediately afterwards, like, what the fuck was that? That's what you saw on his face as he sprinted away. Like, I drank too much. Ugh.
But he didn't eat too much because he threw the sandwich, you know?
Right. So, okay. That, I think, clarifies the lines of what constitutes misdemeanor assault. Sorry, is that what it was? Misdemeanor assault? I feel like assault sounds like it couldn't be. It's like misdemeanor murder.
It was assault. He was found not guilty, though.
All right, justice is served.
He was also being prosecuted by Jeanine Pirro, who's a former Fox News.
Yeah. Yes, she was a judge in the 90s.
From being a judge to prosecuting a man for throwing a sandwich, dude.
I mean...
The jury deliberated for 7 hours on the single charge.
I think they'll probably teach this one in law schools. Did this policeman experience bodily harm or
Wait, okay,
trauma?
So... listen to these poignant details, dude. Soon, get ready to weep, all right? The officer who was hit with the sandwich, Greg Larimore, told jurors that colleagues had given him gag gifts after the incident, including a toy sandwich and a patch with the words "felony footlong."
I mean, so, right. I mean, did he think that he had been assaulted? Like, was he, like, strongly like, I can't, like, this is insane that this monster would throw a sandwich at me?
So he claimed the sandwich exploded on his chest and left smells of onion and mustard. The defense counsel showed a photo of the sandwich after the throw, noting that it was still in its Subway wrapping. And, quote, "A footlong from Subway could not and certainly did not inflict bodily harm."
I mean, was he an ICE agent or National Guard or FBI? I think he was FBI. Man, these guys, like...
They just describe him as a federal officer.
They have this horrible record under oath, man. They're just, like, caught lying left and right. There was this other case in Chicago.
I mean, we also had a segment where we discussed them lying about protesters in LA, where they said the protesters shoved them, but then the video showed that it was them shoving the protesters.
What is up with these cops just lying under oath? Good thing we have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, not something I would... Yeah, not something I would imagine myself saying before or agreeing with.
Yeah, but I mean... Yeah, it's like hard to deny. It's like really, like you say the sandwich exploded on you, like when there's video. Like he didn't get a chance to see the video of the still wrapped sandwich that had not exploded. Though, I mean, you know, it could have leaked. Maybe he just meant it leaked. Poor guy. Single wrong word. He goes down as a notorious liar.
It's alright, at least he's got his felony footlong patch to keep him company.
Yeah, man, I feel like that's a great story. So, back to bad news. Tesla stockholders approved a 10-year pay package for Elon Musk, which could be valued up to $1 trillion, contingent on very good performance for the company and some targets. That would be $275 million a day. What is wrong with this? This was 75% of Tesla shareholders, voters, and he didn't even get to vote.
It kind of makes sense when you think about like who the like Tesla shareholders are, right? They're all Elon stans.
I mean, it's just like to think that this is fair in any way. It's just I don't know. Just broken.
I mean, the people with a financial stake in it are the ones who voted for it. You know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, so, you know, some of them think that he's just like the purest genius ever, which is fucking absurd. He's obviously not. I mean, he's clearly a cruel, selfish bastard, so I guess that aligns their interests nicely, I suppose. Man, I feel like they should just, like, not pay him $1 trillion and just, like, fire him and replace him with a random CEO.
Or me, dude. You know, I would do it. For $275 million a day, I would be the CEO of Tesla.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's a company that, anyway, good company. I mean, obviously an overvalued company. So many ways to spin it, right? Like, you know, if you made $1 million a year, it would only take you 275 years to earn as much as he'll earn in a day. So, like, I mean, it's like one of these things, it's like orders of magnitude, right? Like you think about the median income, like household income in the U.S. is probably like, what, $60K or something?
I think it's less.
Median incomes, like in the 60s. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is. I mean household income.
I'm gonna guess like 50 to 60.
Census.gov says median household income was $83,730 in 2024.
Higher than I thought.
So anyway, you know, under 100,000. So like the median, which is like. This is the median. It's like half the country makes less than this. And this is not a single person. These are median households, right? 275 million divided by 85,000 is 3,235. So every day he makes 3,000 times more than the median household does in
makes in a year. Pretty mind-boggling.
Like to think that this relates to intelligence, work ethic, like value or like virtue, goodness, like to think that this is at all like proportionate and fair is insane.
Yeah, no argument for me.
It's just complete madness, man. Total madness.
It's very healthy for our society, right? Some people starve, other people get hundreds of millions of dollars a day.
It's just it really feels icky, like very icky to have any connection to this. It's like, you know, we work every fucking day for decades and you get squat shit, you know. You like get to reverse mortgage your house to pay your medical bills as Medicare and Social Security are canceled, this guy is going to make $275 million a day.
It really kind of makes a mockery of the whole all men are created equal thing. Oh well, what can you do? We can't do anything about that.
You know what you can't do is even spend $275 million.
That's true. I don't think I could.
Just couldn't even. The only way you can spend it is I guess I'm going to have to start my own space program.
Buying Hawaiian Islands or whatever.
Ugh.
Buying elections.
Ugh. What I mean is how bad a person is being the product of their inherent evil and maliciousness that multiplied by their power. So he's definitely a very powerful person, but he's only pretty evil. He's mostly just greedy. Mostly just.
It's like the opportunity, all the stuff, the good things he could be doing, he's not doing more than he's doing evil stuff. He does do evil stuff, but it's not lots and lots of
Hitler evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we're reassuring ourselves here. It's not an info hazard. It's an info heaven, dude. Progress. It's all fine. All right, Let's move on from this. We're just making ourselves angry. Let's do some more angry stuff, dude. As the government shutdown has continued, air traffic controllers aren't getting paid. The government has decreed there will be less flights, and so now there are less flights, and the airlines are canceling flights.
All right, time to update our weekly betting. When does the shutdown end? I guess what does Polymarket say?
I mean, this I would say is the biggest progress towards ending it so far. This is what has ended the previous super long shutdowns, is airline traffic, because this hits Congress members where they are. They got to fly back and forth a lot. This personally inconveniences them. They get paid during the shutdown. So finally, right. Congress is being inconvenienced. Maybe they will change their minds.
Right. The reasons to settle it are adding up, right?
Not for Congress, dude. Most of this stuff, they just, Republicans don't give a shit about, right? Starving kids? Who cares?
Well, at some point, losing elections, though, I think they care some about losing elections.
Yeah, but that's going to be years from now, dude. You can just pretend that won't happen. Who knows if the voters are going to remember this, a year from now?
That's true. Let's see. So there's another one. Oh, okay, got it. So now I'm looking at the Polymarket. When will the government shutdown end? Here, let me share screeny. Okay, here it is.
All right, so for those of our viewers who aren't gambling fiends, you want to interpret this for us?
Let's see. Well, today...
Surely most of our viewers are gambling fiends, but a few of them might not be. So
Right. So today is November 7th. We're recording on November 7th. And the majority on Polymarket thinks that the 56% of probability by... Wait, how's that? How do I say? Sorry. 56% of the money on Polymarket is behind the theory that the shutdown is going to continue past November 16th. So for at least another week and change. 12th through 15th has 31%. So together, it's about 10% that thinks this is going to end in the next 4 days.
I guess I do kind of agree with them. It does kind of seem like both sides are pretty entrenched here in their position.
Yeah, so that didn't Chuck Schumer made a non-offer offer today, right?
We graciously accept your surrender, sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Or basically saying okay, we'll make you a deal. We only demand that you continue the Affordable Care Act subsidies for another year. We can include that for another year, which is, yeah. I realize that a lot of what both sides need to get out of it, if they want to get out of it, is some face-saving off-ramp. It doesn't actually need to be meaningful. And so, yeah, I think that the Democrats would love that, because then they get to have the fight all over again in a year, right before the midterms.
Look at that, dude. Tactical acumen from the Democrats? It's almost unbelievable.
They got to be senators. I feel like they're probably pretty good at this. But so you think that the air traffic control could move the needle. So what percentage of flights is this that are being canceled then?
It's not the ton so far. Let's see. It's a certain percentage at some busy airports, but it's hundreds of flights. 800 flights 40 airports, starting at 4%, and it will ramp up to 10% by November 14th.
10% of flights canceled by November 14th. Right. I guess the problem is, like Phil has pointed out, is that it's like mostly wealthier people who are traveling all the time and who are going to be getting annoyed and putting pressure on.
And this like actually does like severe short-term economic damage. Like you can see the like point at how much money this is costing and like a way that makes Congress people upset.
In what, like
because they have to like
they have to use Zoom.
Maybe
couldn't firm shake, like, couldn't close the deal because we couldn't look in his eyes while he shook his hand.
I guess, dude, I'm not a business guy. I don't know, but yeah, maybe it's just that so the Congress people are always flying from DC back to where they represent. So this hits them where it hurts. This is the first thing that Congress people will actually feel in consequences immedately, not like possible future consequences, which probably won't happen because Republicans never get punished for behaving badly.
I mean, they got punished last week. A little bit of punishment. Like, I don't know, somehow I don't see any like, I don't know. Somehow this just feels like a infinite winner for the Democrats politically. Like, I see no reason for Democrats to stop doing this other than that, like, the agony is getting too bad. But, like, if the agony is getting too bad, clearly, like, the Republicans should be the ones to take a pretty small, like, do any compromise at all. Like, they should be the ones to compromise. And Donald Trump seems to be basically just diametrically opposed to compromise. So yeah, I mean, there's the whole like get rid of the filibuster thing. There's that ending. But yeah, I don't see this ending anytime soon. I feel like this is going to get like 10% of flights stopped. Does not seem like it's going to move the needle at all.
Yeah, but that's just the first week, dude. After that, it'll be more. So the ATC like controllers are not allowed to strike, but they are allowed to call in sick. If they all start calling in sick and more flights get canceled than even like the official numbers, then, could start seeing some... The kinds of people who are impacted by this are the kinds of people who donate a lot of money to congressional campaigns, and the congressperson might actually take their call when they call.
Not like you and me.
No. This is capital getting upset. Money, the thing we most protect in the United States.
I just don't see this impacting Democrats. So anyway, so what's your bet? Maybe that's the thing I should have been looking at on Polymarket, is like, when it ends, how will it end? A clean CR? Democrats get everything they're demanding? Like some like nominal that is effectively Democrats getting everything they're demanding? Or some real compromise? Or what else? What other options are there?
So my personal bet is like Democrats basically get what they want, but they'll put some sort of weird fig leaf in there. But not for illegal immigrants, which is it's already in there. They got to be able to show that they're winning, because the whole Republican line is Democrats are just closing the government to get health care for illegal aliens.
I mean, I feel like this one is already dead. I haven't heard this argument being made since the early days. But yeah, okay, that's your bet. Yeah, I think that's mine. That's my bet too. And this looks good for Democrats. Whatever.
Bad for the American people, but that's where we are at in our government situation. So
the thing is, it's like, I don't think it's bad for the American people. I think it's critical for the American people that Trump and the Republicans start losing political battles.
Yeah, totally. But, in the meantime, there's a lot of pain with the subsidies currently not being renewed and SNAP not going out, which is really rough. Yeah. Going to cause a lot of suffering.
Yeah, have you heard anything about, like, states planning to actually just, foot the bill and do it without?
Some of them are. The blue states, but the red states, who are actually the primary recipients of SNAP, are predictably not.
Yeah, they suck. They really suck.
Word.
They should. I mean, it's good. While it's bad how much they suck, it's good that it is becoming so clearly obvious how much they suck. Like, no matter how buried your head is in the sand, it's a little hard to ignore the suck.
I mean, they control the three branches of the government. They own the shutdown.
So, any other news?
So I have sort of a small piece of news that most people probably haven't noticed, but I wanted to discuss a little bit.
Okay.
So the IRS killed the direct file program, which was the program which allowed you to file taxes with the IRS online for free. You know, no longer can you just pay your taxes without paying extra money. I just wanted to. This is such a perfect distillation of what's fucked up in America right now. So I figured we could talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is, back before the government was like a criminal enterprise. Yeah, we would complain about things like Intuit, paying for hordes of lobbyists to go and keep the tax code complicated and make sure that even though there was this option to file for free, make sure it was hard to find and, make sure it wasn't like full featured and all that. And so I guess they must have paid off the Trump family or something and fought the bribe to kill this program.
Yeah, all sorts of Congress people actually, not just Trump. It was in the one big beautiful bill initially. They took it out. They softened it to we're gonna just look into it or whatever. And Mr. Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, when he was confirmed, he was like, for 2025 we'll keep it. But 2025 is gone, so now it's gone also. And we're back to the IRS is partnering with a bunch of private companies, but they have previously gotten in trouble for hiding their free options and deceptively stealing money from people. So when they made rules that they couldn't do that, some of them, like Intuit, just pulled out of the program completely. It's just unbelievable, right? You want to pay the government your taxes, as you're, legally required to do. And the government is trying to make that as hard as possible so that you have to pay third-party corporations that have bribed, members of the government in order to even do that. It's just like even this basic function of government is just so corrupted by corporate influence so that they can just generate money for doing nothing, essentially.
So, sorry, you were saying, so Intuit backed out of this, but other companies are still offering it? Or
well, okay, so there's a couple of different things. So Direct File is the IRS program that they had. That's gone. Free File, which is a program that's a public-private partnership between the IRS
right.
and a collection of private companies. Free File started in 2003, so way back then. A lot of people might be like, wait, why are we private? Like, why is the government just allowing corporations to soak taxpayers? But that's because these companies pay, let's say, $1 million in bribes to various Congress people, and then they get back tens or hundreds of millions of dollars from consumers who have to use their software in order to just simply pay taxes. Because the government knows exactly how much you owe in taxes, but they won't tell you. You have to fill out the forms to calculate it and then submit it, and they'll tell you if you're wrong.
There are these are paper forms, right? So am I right that you can just fill out the paper form and mail it to the IRS along with a check?
Yes, but if you're wrong, then it'll start this whole issue. The advantage of doing it online is, it'll tell you relatively immediately if you are filled it out wrong, because these are kind of arcane and Byzantine forms. It may not be too bad if you just have a job, but there's deductions for healthcare, for mortgage, for this, for that. And so if you don't do it correctly, you'll either pay the wrong amount, you'll pay too much, you'll pay not enough, and then the government will come after you.
Though last time I filed taxes, the government came after, they sent a letter telling me we had a nanny, and the payroll tax with the nanny is confusing. And I'd messed it up, and I had overpaid, and they sent me a letter. You overpaid by this much. Here's a check. Call us to argue if you think we're wrong. And I was like, nope, that looks right. And even while I was doing it, it was funny because I was using this software. It's funny because I tried to use TurboTax and I could not get it to work. I had to start over from scratch, I think 3 times. Because, it's like a wizard to, fill things in the first time. Then you go back, you have to, it's harder to edit it. Or, if you change one of your answers, it doesn't correctly, clear all the downstream stuff of there that it also filled in. And so then your shit is broken and it can't fix it. So I had to start over again multiple times. It couldn't figure it out. Then I went to Tax Act and got it done over there. But it like clearly there was something still wrong with the nanny tax section, and I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't get it fixed, and I said, screw it. I guess I'll overpay my taxes because I just can't see any way out. And I spent like every evening for a week doing my taxes. I also owned a LLC, so okay, I had like a bunch of taxes. And then they just like sent me a letter. They're like, oh, you overpaid by this much. Great.
Yeah. So like how absurd is this situation, right? They know how much you owe, but they won't tell you. You gotta kind of guess and hope that you're correct, right? In most countries, the government just tells you how much you owe in tax, and then you pay your taxes, and that's it. That's the end of it, you know? Incredible. Imagine if we just had that in the US, right?
Right, but I'm also just like, part of what this whole discussion and that experience is maybe teaching me is like, because it starts off so simple, but then like as you are trying to understand what is going wrong, you have to like dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually it's like if I had just been looking at the form that I'm supposed to fill in, this would have made more sense. Like I could have just figured it out from the form. But like the software is sending me in circles. This is making me want to just do this in paper.
Well, for reference, in paper, the U.S. tax code is 6,871 pages long.
Sure. Yeah, probably not all of that is relevant to me. I think I can just start. You just start by filling in a 1040. You fill in a 1040, and it's like, how much is it from this? And like the instructions are there on the back. It's like, it's the same sort of stuff that it asks you in the Wizard and TurboTax, like, do you have a job? Do you have income from investments? Are you a farmer? Do you have a boat? Like, I don't know, all that stuff. I'm not a farmer and I don't have a boat. So mine should be easy. Maybe I'm just talking a big game, but I feel like I can do it.
I think it will be not as easy as you hope.
Yeah, but could it really be worse than what it was last year?
It can always be worse, dude.
If you get it wrong, they'll just send you the corrected version. So I'm like, okay, I tried. Like, try, but don't try that hard. So, try hard enough so that you can sign the thing that says, like, as far as I know, everything here is correct. I'm not intentionally telling you anything that's wrong.
It's certainly a strategy. I don't think we can legally advocate for it on the show. If you're listening,
in case you
don't do this.
This is not financial advice. I am not a CPA.
It's not even regular advice. It's like anti-advice. Don't do this, probably. But the U.S. government should follow my advice and bring back direct file, because this is absurd. This is a basic function of government. Just, if you want taxes, tell us how much tax to pay. Is that so much to ask? Yes, apparently.
I heard the argument made by, I guess, a Republican senator a couple of years ago that basically, taxes should really hurt. It shouldn't be easy. It should be part of this, people should really, really hate it that they have to pay taxes. And like that's part of why they don't want it to be easy anyway. It's an interesting point. Like I feel like if we have all the like subscription services that we don't cancel, like they're already like we do have this culture of just not being very price sensitive, sort of. Like the people not being that thoughtful about where their money goes. But yeah, I feel like there's got to be a better way to make people really appreciate their taxes. Maybe the IRS in your tax returns should like send you a breakdown of like where your money went and stuff like that. What types of taxes you paid. Or
like the paper could be like really sandpapery and you have to rub your fingers on it until they bleed in order to seal the form.
You have to seal it in blood and do a DNA test.
Yeah, man. If you want to make taxes painful. Did you know that for a while there was a proposal that the nuclear codes should be embedded in the guy's chest? And if the president ever wanted to launch nukes, he would have to carve them out of the guy's chest to, bring home the violence of the act. So it's not just some abstract fire the nukes command.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's the kind of... Is it though? Like if the president can't even kill one guy, how is it good that he can order millions of people to die?
What if they're launching nukes at an asteroid? Saving the planet? In order to save the planet, you need to like go all like Alien versus Predator on just like this whatever member of Space Force, I guess, or I don't know.
I mean, I think the idea is it's like a volunteer probably.
What a way to perform your civic duties. I mean, and you always have to be like kind of close by, right? Like it's like you have to. Can you go fishing?
I mean, I guess, maybe you can take the day off. There's more than one volunteer.
But can't you be kidnapped and then someone will have the, like, they can,
I
all they have
mean-
to do is tear your chest out and then they'll have the nuclear codes?
I mean, the same thing could happen to the current nuclear football, right? If it's just stolen. I guess you'd have to have, like, Secret Service guards and stuff. It'd be a relatively small expense on the order of the U.S. government. Certainly less expensive than people spend on TurboTax.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I didn't know about this proposal. That's bonkers. Man,
I always
people come
thought
up
it
with
was
all
kind of
kinds
brilliant, dude.
People do ideas.
Like TurboTax. Like the U.S. tax system as it is right now. All right, we have anything else to say on this to wrap it up?
No, just, pay your taxes. Who's with me? Let's file by
I don't think I'm with you.
Okay, that settles it. All right, well, it's been another banger of an episode, wouldn't you say, Dan?
Definitely do.
Bang! We'll see you next week. I think even Phil might be back. Am I going to be gone? Is next week
I don't know.
Thanksgiving? Who
No
am
way,
I?
dude. All three of us together, once more, the Three Musketeers.
All right. Until then, what do they say? All for one.
One for all.
Thanks.